I'm running already. My confession is about something that happened in the early years of my career with a very well-known shipping company. I was sent to join one of the company's ships as a temporary extra hand to become familiar with the way they operated before being assigned my permanent ship. A period of on-board acclimatization, getting my sea legs and so on, understanding the traditions of the ship and its crew. Just like on the BBC TV series Vigil, but without the murders.
Oh, right.
And also without the conspiracy, and also without Saran Jones. And also not underwater, obviously.
Okay. So not very much like
actually
not really.
very similar. We sailed from port and I'm wandering around, doing my best to familiarise myself with the layout of the ship and impress the captain with my keenness. I walked past a very nice wood-panelled room area. It said officers to me, classy. It said executive. I noticed what seemed to resemble a large mouse hole in one of the panels. That seems a little bit odd on a ship. On closer inspection, there appeared to be a large rodent poking its head out. No, you're imagining it, I told myself. It's new job nerves. You're hallucinating. And that's not great, is it, so early on in the job? Had I been on the Lamb's Rum, as advertised by the woman in the ill-fitting wetsuit? No, I had not. I looked again, and yes, there was definitely a rat's head poking out of this hole. I summoned up all my inner courage. I got closer before swiftly launching my boot in the direction of the large rodent head. A swift kick to the chops will be an impressive achievement. How many kills on your tour of duty, Ronnie? 1, albeit a rat.
Yeah.
However, I then realised that, surprise, surprise, it actually wasn't a live scary beast, but a stuffed toy, a genuine stuffed rat made in China. Well, I dragged it out, still very curious as to why it was there in the first place, in its own hole, and intending to ask one of the regular crew about my strange find. Unfortunately, I bumped into the captain, who inquired how I was finding things, to which I replied, well, what a fine captain, what a fabulous ship it is, and so well run. Nice beard. But
Really?
I found this.
Wow.
And I held up the stuffed Roland rat toy. He laughed rather loudly, but in a still captainly, very jolly, but Admiral of the Navy kind of way, however that sounds.
Yeah.
This wasn't the reaction I expected. Then he said, oh, you found Roland. He's the ship's mascot, and he's been on here 8 years since the ship was built. He brings luck, he brings good fortune, and prosperity to everybody. Sailors, as you know, are very superstitious, so we are very fond of him. You found him, now it's your turn to hide the blighter. So off I went, determined to find the best hiding place ever for the little furry guy. I opened a cupboard, or locker as I believe they're known on a ship, and inside there was a large open-ended pipe. Right, Roland, my little stuffed friend, you're going up there. I began to push Roland up the pipe, intending to leave this little rodent with its head sticking out, when to my horror there was a loud sucking noise, and he disappeared. He disappeared up the pipe and was gone. Now, I'm in full panic mode. I've been on this ship 1 day, and I've lost the much-loved mascot who's been there 8 years. Thinking on my feet, I sprinted up the stairs to the next level, or deck, I believe, as it's known nautically, until you've got your sea legs. Yeah. And there's a room with a sign above the door saying, fan room. And this was where Roland had been sucked into. All would be well.
Oh, no.
But on opening the door, my relief was short-lived. Roland wasn't there waiting to be gathered after his thrilling ride up the pipe. Instead, the room was full of a haze-like cloud consisting of millions of tiny particles of sponge and fur. Roland had been vaporized. He'd been turned into a gas. He'd gone through the fan system, and this is what had happened. I rapidly closed the door, scurried away, hoping no one else would bother to look in there, a bit like they do in the Saran Jones drama. Yeah. The next day, the banter started with, where's Roland? You must have hid him well. I've been looking. Because that's how sailors talk.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I have thought. I had hidden it very well, was what I was thinking. Anyway, this continued for a while. Not long after, Father Simon, I was transferred, leaving the rest of the crew still expecting to come across their faithful, trusty mascot hidden somewhere. Worries were beginning to be expressed, I have to say. Concerns for the well-being of the crew and the ship itself. Superstition was beginning to take over. Everyone was looking, everyone was on edge. I pretended all was well and that I'd just been extra cunning. The coxswain guessed, I think, but couldn't prove anything.
How very like... Yeah, anyway, go on.
But just like in Vigil.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now seems like the right time to confess to the captain and the crew. I'm sorry, Roland isn't still in hiding. He has become a million tiny particles of nylon and polyester. But, Father Simon, we are all made of stars, aren't we?
Aren't we, though?
So that's okay, then. I'm sorry if you thought your ship was going to sink because the fairy blight had been chopped up, but it didn't, so that's okay. In a way, he was still on board the ship. In a way. In a way. Just in lots and lots of different places. So you won't be finding him anytime soon. That's what I'm saying, says Ronnie. With tonight's winning confession, let's go to Sister Susie first of all.
Oh, Ronnie, how unlucky could you be? Like, the one place you find you think is amazing and he just gets ripped to shreds and he's been there for 8 years. I just think it's really unlucky. You maybe should have told them, but I'm going to forgive you because it wasn't your fault.
Brother Matthew.
Yeah, it got all a bit crystals and ley lines at the end there, didn't it? With the, is it in a way, isn't he? Isn't he still with us? Aren't we just all made of stars? And he is a gas. And I suppose the gas, that's still with us. So I'm going to forgive. Rat up a pipe, always gets forgiveness in my book. So yeah, and he's hidden, so you're not supposed to see him. So that's the whole point. Right.